Minecraft 1.18 is soon to be here, and what better way to enjoy it than playing the new experimental snapshots. I wanted to test out the new generation in survival and decided to spend 100 days in it. That way I have a good picture of how it works, what improvements need to be done, and it will just be fun. But before we get into the video, I'm going to do the thing that all YouTubers do. If you enjoy this video, be sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I mean, you get free videos to watch. Who doesn't want that? And if you don't, then you can just unsubscribe. With that, let's go on with the video. The fresh smell of floating Minecraft trees. And lag. Well, I was kinda expecting that, since this is still not optimized for potato laptops like mine, with OBS running in the background and without Optifine. Yeah, it's pretty bad. As for day 1, I chopped down some trees with the awful lag, mined some stone, mined coal, made a furnace and then cooked some iron. I chopped the heads off some fish, cause I couldn't find any other animals to chop. But unfortunately, the fish weren't enough, so I took some kelp too. I basically hid throughout the whole night because I wasn't ready to go adventuring at night with this lag. And I found no caves. As the sun started rising on my second day, I felt like this day will be good for finding caves. Spoiler alert, that didn't happen. But I found a ruined nether portal, found no chest, and then I found a desert village, in the smallest desert known to man. The desert is literally as big as the village. The game was like, we need a desert village, but there's no space for a desert. You know what? Let's just make a beach, put a sandy village on it, and call it a desert. Oh wait, what other things are there in a desert? Oh right, a desert temple. Meh, there is no space for that. Just plop it in the middle of the ocean. Yeah, Minecraft is weird sometimes. Anyway, I pillaged the village while everyone was sleeping and entered the mid-ocean desert temple. You know what? This is just the story of global warming. Anyway, I found 3 diamonds, a golden apple and a bunch of rubbish. Then I thought that I had started day 3, because the sun started going up, but my F3 menu said that it was still day 2, even when I had recorded for 50 minutes. Anyway, so on the rest of day 2, which should technically not be day 2. I headed for a sunken ship and found a few moss blocks and a buried treasure map. I stole somebody's home and hoped that they would not haunt me later. I also made myself an iron pickaxe and an iron axe, cause I didn't want to use my diamonds. Then I decided to head on an adventure and wanted to sing the trip in our rocket ship song. But then I would have been struck down by the almighty copyright laws that control our lives. Anyway, I traveled for many minutes, basically the rest of day 2 and 3. Without any luck for finding a decent cave that doesn't go down only 5 blocks into the ground. It's ironic how in the Caves and Cliffs update it is impossible to find a cave. But I found a pillager outpost, but I didn't loot it because I knew that I would have died. I also managed to make myself an iron chestplate from the iron that was lying around. Then day 4 began and I finally found myself in a decent cave. And in that cave I found the huge diamond vein. Literally 12 diamond ores in one place. But of course my pickaxe broke before I got them. So I looked for some iron to make a new one and started heading back as day 5 began. And this day started with me getting 12 diamonds. So what an awesome way to start your day. I continued my adventure in the caves all throughout day 6 as well. And on day 6, I found myself 2 more diamonds. And on day 7, I started heading back home. Home sweet home. The nighttime fell and so I started lighting the village up. I also planted some sugarcane, exploded a creeper and planted even more sugarcane. At the end of day 7 I wanted to find a buried treasure with the treasure map I found earlier, but apparently I suck at following maps. So I gave up on that idea altogether. Not much happened on day 8, I just got the obsidian from the ruined nether portal and made my own portal. Then I stole a guy's cows and made them my own, cause I rule the world. I did the usual things on day 9 and 10 that all Minecrafters do. I planted the seeds in the villagers' farms, started breeding cows, collected my own sugarcane, then made my own wheat farm, because the other one was too small. And on day 11 I built up a villager breeder, and the villager that used to own the house that I stole has started haunting me by closing the door in front of my face. Then I needed some iron. But instead on day 12 I found this village on a cliff. It's at these moments that you start seeing the payoff of the new update. But then phantoms spawn and you start regretting your choices from previous updates. Especially when you are on a cliff getting chased down by mini dragon ghosts and almost falling off the whole thing and dying. I pillaged the village on day 13, found this weird snowy circle thing in ice spikes biome and started looking for iron once again. On my way I found this cool ravine, but it was absolutely useless because I couldn't do anything with it because of the water. Mojang, please make less of these water-filled caves because no one, and I mean no one, will be able to use them, at the beginning of the game at least. Throughout day 14 I was looking for iron, but on my journey I stumbled upon something rather epic. This ginormous cave going all the way to deep slate level, and it certainly looked cool from up here. On day 15 I decided to go down the ginormous cave, found some diamonds in a dripstone cave and got chased down by a train of zombies. This is why you always keep a lava bucket on you. It comes in handy at clutch moments. Later I continued down the cave, and I have to say, once you find these huge caves, they really never end. Your inventory will be filled by the time you're halfway done. Day 16 to 19 were basically the same stuff. I was looking around the cave, I found a zombie spawner and got some name tags from there. I also found some pretty cool areas in the cave, like this awesome lava lake, surrounded by such open space. To go back on that lava thing, a downside of carrying a lava bucket with you is that you might sometimes find yourself in that lava. That's why you always keep a water bucket on you. And this looks awesome. It's a hole to that lava lake that I found earlier. Then I found this Amethyst Geode. In the middle of day 19, I started heading back home. I didn't get lost at all. And on my way, I found some pretty cool places, such as this cave. I didn't go in because I literally had no space left in my inventory. I tried to do some MLG tricks, but failed horribly. But I definitely named this one. Then home sweet home once again. At this point my inventory was so full that I had to make more chests. I finished making my Nether portal, but then I realized that I made it too big. I literally do that every time I make a portal. Either it's too big or too small. So I had to rip it down. And this dude is in front of me face again. Oh, I also made an enchantment table and some bookshelves. Not all of them though, because I needed more leather. Day 21 and 22 I started making a villager trading hall. And apparently my villager breeder didn't work, so I went the old-fashioned way, stealing their beds and forcing them to sleep in an overcrowded small hole against their will. I want to remind you that this is a family-friendly game. I worked on my villager trading hall and gathered a chicken army on day 23. I finished the villager trading hall, put down some rails and got the villagers trapped in there forever, forced to trade with me day and night. They don't even get to sleep. On day 26 to 27, I managed to get enough books to finish the enchantment table. I made a full set of diamond armor, enchanted my diamond pickaxe and some of my armor. However, I didn't want to use it until I got mending. Oh yeah, I also got myself a spyglass. They are cool. On day 28 and 29, I cleared out more land and made a bigger wheat farm. I was supposed to make an iron shovel, but I made an iron hoe instead. Thankfully, I needed the hoe later anyway. On day 30, I got a mending villager, bought a mending book off him, made an anvil and put mending on my pickaxe. I got my first ender pearl on day 31. And finally decided to go into the Nether. Now I was a bit scared of the Nether, not because it's difficult, but because it's supposed to be glitched in these snapshots. I was worried that I would spawn in an awful area, but thankfully that didn't happen. Actually, Deep in the fog near my spawn, I was able to see a distant nether fortress. Although I didn't want to risk losing all my stuff, so I made a chest surrounded by dirt so that piglins wouldn't see me opening it. Put all my valuables in it and finally started bridging over to there. As I almost got over there, I got attacked by blazes and almost fell. I waited for them to despawn and made my way to the nether fortress. I killed some of the skeletons and the ghast. I finally made it to the nether fortress, took down some blazes, but in the middle of the day, my shield broke and everything went downhill from there. At this point, I was being hit from everywhere and yeah, I realized that the title doesn't fit anymore. You know what? Let's just add this and perfecto. I tried to get my stuff back, but got killed by a wither skeleton, and this time I actually lost some stuff to the lava.
Derp.
I got my stuff again, and then I finally got enough blaze rods. Day 33 to 36, I started giving the piglins some gold to get ender pearls. However, I didn't seem to have as much luck as some people. On day 36, I finally got back home because I didn't have more gold to give to the piglins, and I didn't get enough ender pearls either. When I said that things would go downhill very quickly, I wasn't kidding. On day 37, I went to the forest at nighttime, but my potato laptop started lagging and this happened. So I had to break out my diamond armor. On day 38, I went out into the wilderness to get some XP. I killed mobs, mined coal, and blah 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 blah. The following 6 days, I did some house chores, replanted the crops, traded, and sorted out my chests. I also gathered some ender pearls. I made eyes of ender and felt like today was gonna be the day to search for the end portal. On my way, I found a sunken ship, but it wasn't in the ocean. Nope, it was in the dirt next to a village. Then I found an azalea tree and a lush cave under it, which looked pretty cool. After the eyes of ender led me down, I started mining straight down and found myself in a cave, and there I found something quite epic. This, I found a giant ruined nether portal under the ground. I had never known that these existed before. I had never seen them before above ground, let alone in a cave. This was really cool. I took the gold and continued my journey. At the end of day 44, I finally found a stronghold, but it was so big that it took me a whole day to just find the portal room. At this point, I had basically lost half my ender pearls and started looking for some endermen. On day 46, I found some more ender pearls and started heading back home because I needed to go get my blaze rods and also do something very important. I made it home the very next day. The next few days I got some kelp and started smelting it to get some XP. Then I looked for a jungle. However, the first two didn't have what I needed. The third one did, however. On day 5, I found what I was looking for. Yes, parrots. But not any type of parrot. I wanted this one. The grey one, because I actually own one of these guys. You have probably heard him interrupting some of my videos lately. I also sometimes post pictures of him on my Twitter, so go follow me there for awesome and funny parrot pictures. Also, you get updates and teasers on the upcoming videos. Now, this guy was a bit annoying to tame. I needed more seeds, because the ones that I had weren't enough. I got seeds from home and finally tamed him. As the sun started rising upon day 52, me and my companion bird rode back home, and I had to give him his rightful name, Zazu. Now I knew that it was finally the time to face the Ender Dragon. With my new found companion bird, we set out on a journey beyond our home, over hill and under tree, beyond lands and overseas, through water and fire, until the great pillar was seen in the vast green, and then finally we arrived. Looking through the abandoned land, searching for the eyes of the forgotten, and finally, as the roar from the people once before us echoed through the halls, a last breath was taken as we went through. I didn't mean that to be so dramatic. Anyway, we finally made it to the end, and I actually knew that this fight would be much easier because the end is glitched out and the obsidian pillars are gone, so there is no end crystals that can heal the dragon. On day 56, the battle began, and even through the toughest times, we got through it. In the end, we emerged victorious and the dragon was defeated, but I left Zazu on the main island to go look for an end city. I needed an elytra to search for a new place to build my new home. The next 3 days, I made it to the end islands and started looking for an end city. The first one I found didn't have a ship, so I looted it and looked for another. Thankfully, the next 2 I found had end ships, so I actually came out with 2, count them 2 elytras. Then Zazu and I hopped back to the end portal. As I emerged from the end portal, Zazu was nowhere to be found. I looked around for him but didn't find him, unlike now because he is literally flying above my head. On my way home, I searched up where mobs spawn after leaving the end portal, and apparently they spawn at world spawn. I knew that the village was pretty close to the world spawn, so I hoped that Zazu would teleport to me once I got there, and it certainly worked. Now, I finally had an elytra. Whoop whoop! I made myself new gear from the better stuff I found in the end, but I had a feeling that switching an axe to a sword was a bad idea when I had Zazu with me. Nah, it will be fine. In the meantime, I enchanted my elytra and bought some books from the villagers. Oh, also this. It's like a wave of chickens. Poultry man, save me! And then this. Yeah, I have to say that you should trust your gut feelings. But I just had to memorialize him. Rest in peace, Zazu. Hope you don't die in real life too. Anyway, I later went underground and gathered some deep slate, but later discovered that you cannot make stuff out of normal deep slate mined with silk touch. It has to be cobbled deep slate, which is stupid. Mojang, please make the normal deep slate also used in crafting. So anyway, this is what happens when you are too lazy to hold down the mouse button. So you decide to put stuff on it to weigh it down. Don't do that. Don't do that if you're me. The next few days I spent gathering materials and building a creeper farm, but the weights were awful, so I went killing some creepers instead. After my hunt, I managed to get enough gunpowder to make a decent amount of fireworks. So here we go, the journey to find a place for my new home. Here I come. I found some pretty cool places and almost died a bunch of times. I also had some epic battles with phantoms while flying. I also found a mine shaft and went underwater. And then I found something rather epic. This ginormous open cave with water in the middle. This thing is really cool. However, I did search for something else. I found a cool entrance to a small cave on the side of a mountain and then a bunch of other places. But in the end, I came back to the hole with water in the middle. I lit the place up and called it home. I did some creative testing on a copy of this world and then came back, gathered some stuff and then started building. I first of all made a ball of black stained glass, which was a bit difficult to get, but it turned out great. Then I went to a sea temple, took some sea lanterns and came back. I then made another sphere of sea lanterns in the bigger sphere. Around the inner sphere, I then put exactly 8 shroom lights. I wonder why that is. Then I made a bunch of swirly things around the sphere. I decided to make the swirly thing red, so I went to a nearby mesa biome and stole a few blocks from there. Then I started placing them to make a bigger swirly thing. At this point I was on day 92 and felt like I wasn't going to be able to finish this before day 100. Maybe I'll finish it later and make another video on it. On day 99 I finished the swirly thing and started to mix in other colors to make more of a gradient. Day 100 is here, and as the sun rises on day 101 and the threat of looking at this enderman increases, I realized that I think that I have never, ever been in a single world for this long, in my god knows 7-8 years of playing Minecraft. That came as a shock to me, I have to say. And now, before day 101 begins, there is only one thing left to do.